Before I start today, I want you to understand what you are about to hear. You are going to hear my emotions. Yes, I'm still pissed off at some of these events and people. I'm even more upset at myself for losing my opportunity to coach basketball and for never developing a friendship with Dave. Welcome to another episode of Daryl's Digest. I'm documenting my journey through life dealing with dementia and depression. My hope is they will help be the yep. My hope is that they will be helpful for people dealing with these issues as well as those who love them. I had to shave today. It's the first time I can remember shaving before the end of November. The reality is, I could have shaved last year, and I just don't remember. I do, however, remember what happened the last year I coached basketball in Brockway. I thought I had a pretty good team. I had young Mr. Baca, Peanut Esposito, Noah Vokes, and Keaton Kramer. I thought these guys were going to win some games. So they were messing around with me, talking about my no-shave November beard. And I told them I wouldn't shave it till they won their first game. We always played a few games in December before Christmas break, so I figured I'd be shaving early in December. Didn't happen. They would not get their first victory until after the first of the next year. I had no idea this would be my final season. The worst part about it is, by not having my depression under control, I lost a great opportunity. Depression is evil. Left unchecked, it will wreck your life. It did mine. I have taken medicine for years to help push back on the depression symptoms. But I need to supplement talk therapy to truly get back towards normal. One of my many faults is stubbornness. I'd been away from therapy for way too long. Things were about to go from bad to worse. Let's back up some here. My symptoms may be totally different than yours or someone you're dealing with. I'm not a shrink. I never played one in the movies or on TV. But my free fall from the end of my last season, 2014, until the beginning of the next was epic. If you have not watched my video on how did I know I had dementia, please watch it after this. It is the one. It is 13 minutes and 49 seconds. It is right before my talking about my therapist now. Okay, let me set the timeline for you. I was diagnosed with dementia in July of 2014. So the 2014 July of 2013. The 2014 basketball season was my first and only season without a full-time job. After the high school season, I would always take a group of Brockway guys and a few from the surrounding schools to AAU tournaments. So I would try to get them, sorry about that, some open gym time. Early in the off season of 2015, the head coach and JV coach showed up at one of these workouts. I was shocked. They never showed up before. But what came out of their banana traps was about to send me into a deep tailspin. They said they had met with the school superintendent and he had agreed to allow them to switch places. No applications taken, no school board interview. Boom, there's a new head coach. To this very minute, I felt like that was bullshit. The superintendent and those two were trying to pull a fast one. Shame on the three of them. By now, I'm spiraling down a deep hole. My self-worth was depleting daily. I could not do the job I had been trained to do. I started to become paranoid. I felt like the whole world was against me. I had little or no motivation. Right now, I want to say something to those who may have someone like that in your life. Be proactive. Get them into therapy. Yes, it can seem like bad or rude behavior, but these might be a deeper issue. While I had been to therapy before in my life, right then it was not an option. Meanwhile, someone at the school pulled their head out of their ass and decided they had to hire a coach the correct way. I applied with some other people. One of those guys was a former head coach at a local college. I would take my boys and guys from my teams to watch his team play. My boys went so often that one time Noah ran down into his timeout huddle. Coach Bennett got the job. I could have had the chance to coach with someone I had admired and still admire. I might even have had the opportunity to make a lasting friendship. But my depression never let those things happen. My paranoia became resentment. My resentment became anger. All of this led me to do one of the most asinine things I've done in my life. I am responsible for my actions. Please think about the pronouns I used. Me and my. Here's a good doctor. My oldest son was in 9th grade. He was playing in his first varsity playoff game. I had volunteered to travel and set up our elementary schedule on the same night. I can't tell you why, but the meeting went long. I head back to Brockway as fast as I could. Carter's mother calls me to say he had just scored. Another phone call, another goal. And yet, a third phone call, he had gotten a hat trick. Remember how I said my brain was interpreting everything? The cosmos was out to get me, and I was preparing an elementary schedule instead of seeing my son score a hat trick in a playoff game. Here is where a sick brain can trick you. Mine did. I was doing the elementary schedule for Noah. All I could see was an ungrateful program that had taken a playoff game from me. The next event is going to be a major trigger event for me. I pulled into the parking lot and started into the game. Brockway's jackass school superintendent met me right behind the football goalpost. I remember so distinctly and decisively because of what it led to in my life. The southbound end of a northbound horse spoke to me. I have no idea what venom came out of his pie hole, but I guarantee it wasn't a positive comment. The next morning, I sent the jackass my resignation. I go to pick up Carter from basketball practice soon after. Dave asked me where the 7th and 8th grade uniforms are. I lost it. I was the jackass that night. Here are the pronouns, I and I. I have to take responsibility for not going to therapy and allowing the depression to get this bad. I was so sure that Carter had heard me yell at Dave that the next morning I took a pile of pills with me. Instead of heading to work, I drove the opposite way, pulled into a parking space for hunters, took the pills, left the motor running, never expecting to make it. That stupid event got me some time in a padded cell. I got lucky. I just read today the Japanese suicide rate in October 2020 was higher than their total COVID deaths for the whole year. Suicides in October 2020, 2,153. COVID deaths all year, 2,087. I got that from CNN, folks. In the U.S., on an average, 132 Americans die from suicide every day. 90%, let me say that again, 90% of those who died by suicide had a diagnosable mental health issue at the time of their death. Got that from the CDC, 2018. This is why I started these videos. I don't want anybody's effing pity. Some of these suck for me. Emotions come back that I don't want to feel again. But if I can get someone the help they need, if I can get one caretaker to see their loved one in a different light, then I win and not the double D's.